Sorry, I'm a little bit shaken. I'm a little bit in disbelief that I'm making this video. I was just about to go out to dinner and watch the game with friends, and my phone is actually, I'm in the process of installing my brand new phone. I didn't even get this alert myself. My brother had to tell my sister to come in and tell me to check Twitter, and when I checked Twitter, I could have never expected what I just saw here. Before we get to the content, do me a favor, man. There's gonna be some people that are gonna be out here just trying to kill me for being the messenger here. Disliking the content is a little bit different than disliking the news. So if you could leave a like to support me, so hopefully there's not too many dislikes to the likes, I'd really appreciate it. If you want to get part one, we did part one on Jon Gruden on Friday. Of course, we're giving away an autographed jersey to anyone that subscribes and turns on our notifications and follows us on Twitter and Instagram. And we also do short versions of this content on TikTok. Now that we got all that out of the way, break!
Tough loss for our team. I'd like to congratulate the Bears. Very physical team, good defensive team. Way too many penalties, I think. When you have 8 holding penalties and you struggle in a short yardage situation, and field position's hard to come by, it's going to be a fist fight. And they won this one today. Congratulations to them. I think Jonathan Hankins is the only guy that didn't finish the game. He got hit in the back. Derek Carr hurt his neck a little bit, but was able to finish. With that said, I'll answer any questions I can.
Game question. Just one question. Can the NFL and the Raiders and the fans be sure that there are not any other racial insensitive remarks by you out there in the atmosphere that could be published by the Washington Journal or any other publication?
All I can say is I'm not a racist. I can't tell you how sick I am. I apologize again to D. Smith, but I feel good about who I am and what I've done my entire life. And I apologize for the insensitive remarks. I had I had no racial intentions with those remarks at all. But yes, they can. I'm not like that at all, but I apologize. I don't want to keep addressing it.
Just my last question: have the NFL contacted you, and what was their response?
I have not had any contacts with them yet, but we'll see what happens here in the next few days.
I guess that's my question. Do you expect something to happen?
I'm not going to answer all these questions today. I think I've addressed it already. I can't remember a lot of the things that transpired 10 or 12 years ago, but I stand here in front of everybody apologizing. I know I'm not, I don't have an ounce of racism in me. I'm a guy that takes pride in leading people together, and I'll continue to do that for the rest of my life. And again, I apologize to D. Smith and anybody out there that I have offended. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you.
On Friday, a very random piece of news came out, and honestly, I don't know what caused the NFL to target this piece of news, because I just felt like it came out of nowhere. I mean, the contents of this Wall Street Journal article opens up, and the very first thing you see when you open this Wall Street Journal article is, on July 21st, 2011, the National Football League and its players were working to resolve a lockout that threatened the upcoming season. That day, the league's owners voted to ratify a new collective bargaining agreement, but the players opted not to vote on it immediately, citing outstanding issues that the union was fighting to resolve. So in the very beginning, the very first thing you say is on July 21st, 2011. Now it continues to say that same day, Jon Gruden, the current, well, at the time the current, Las Vegas Raiders coach, who has been one of the most prominent figures in the NFL over the past 2 decades, sent an email about DeMaurice Smith, the executive director of the NFL Players Association, to a team executive. Gruden's email described Smith with a racist trope common in anti-black imagery, saying DeMaurice Smith has the lips the size of Michelin tires. He wrote in an email reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. Now, to be honest, I said in my previous video, I was not familiar with that trope at all whatsoever, so I guess you could say I'm a little bit ignorant. I had some people explain to me the lips comment is a racist trope that honestly I didn't know was a racist trope. It's news to me, but that's what Jon Gruden is coming under fire for. So Jon Gruden's response to this was, "I'm really sorry. I was upset. I used a horrible way of explaining it. I don't think he's dumb, I don't think he's a liar, and I don't have a racial bone in my body, and I've proven that for 58 years. Now, DeMaurice Smith responded to this saying, "This is not the first racist comment that I've heard, and it probably will not be the last. This is a thick-skinned job for someone with dark skin, just like it always has been for many people who look like me and work in corporate America. You know, people are sometimes saying things behind your back that are racist, just like you see people talk and write about you using thinly coded and racist language. Racism like this comes from the fact that I'm at the same table as they are, and they don't think someone who looks like me belongs. I'm sorry my family has to see something like this, but I would rather they know. I will not let it define me." Now, the NFL's response to this was, "The email from Jon Gruden denigrating DeMaurice Smith is appalling, abhorrent, and wholly contrary to the NFL's values. We condemn the statement and regret any harm that its publication may inflict on Mr. Smith or anyone else." The Las Vegas Raiders actually put out a statement in regards to this, saying that the content of an email regarding DeMaurice Smith from Jon Gruden when he worked for ESPN 10 years ago is disturbing and not what the Las Vegas Raiders stand for. "We were first made aware of the email late yesterday by a reporter and are reviewing it along with other materials provided to us today by the NFL. We are addressing the matter with Coach Gruden and will have no further comment at this time." Now, after Friday, you didn't really hear much. You'd get like little bits from Schefter here and there, but they didn't really do that much of a deep dive into this. But after Sunday, as you saw in the beginning of the video, when the Chicago Bears would defeat the Las Vegas Raiders, we had a little bit more of an idea of what the fate of Jon Gruden would be. Gruden mentioned that the league was going to open up an investigation into workplace misconduct, and as a result, would be going through his emails. Just a few moments ago, we got an article from the New York Times in regards to the nature of these emails. So the article says this: "League officials, as part of a separate workplace misconduct investigation that did not directly involve him, have found that Gruden, now the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, casually and frequently unleashed misogynistic and homophobic language over several years to denigrate people around the game and to mock some of the league's momentous changes. He denounced the emergence of women as referees, the drafting of a gay player, and the tolerance of players protesting during the playing of the national anthem, according to emails reviewed by the New York Times. Gruden's messages were sent to Bruce Allen, the former president of the Washington football team, and others while he was working for ESPN as a color analyst during Monday Night Football, the sports network's weekly primetime telecast of the NFL games. In the emails, Gruden called the league's commissioner, Roger Goodell, well, you could read that for yourself, and a clueless anti-football pussy, and said that Goodell should not have pressured Jeff Fisher, then the coach of the Rams, to draft queers, a reference to Michael Sam, a gay player chosen by the team in 2014. In numerous emails during a 7-year period ending in early 2018, Gruden criticized Goodell and the league for trying to reduce concussions and said that Eric Reed, a player who had demonstrated during the playing of the national anthem, should be fired. In several instances, Gruden used a homophobic slur to refer to Goodell and offensive language to describe some NFL owners, coaches, and journalists who cover the league. Gruden, Allen, the NFL, and the Raiders did not immediately respond to questions for comment. Although not with the team at the time, Gruden was still influential in the league and highly coveted as a coach. He won a Super Bowl during the 2002 season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and in 2018 he was hired for his second stint as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders franchise, which includes defensive lineman Carl Nassib, the first active NFL player to publicly declare that he is gay. Now, Gruden told ESPN on Sunday that the league was reviewing emails in which he criticized Goodell and explained that he had been upset about about team owners' lockout of the players in 2011 when some of the emails were written. Gruden said in that interview that he had used an expletive to refer to Goodell and that he did so because he disapproved of Goodell's emphasis on safety, which he believed was scaring parents into steering their sons away from football. But Gruden's behavior was apparently not limited to 2011. Gruden exchanged emails with Allen and other men that included photos of women wearing only bikini bottoms, including one photo of 2 Washington football team cheerleaders. Gruden also criticized President Obama during his re-election campaign in 2012, as well as then Vice President Joe Biden, whom Jon Gruden called a nervous, clueless pussy. He used similar words to describe Goodell and DeMaurice Smith, the executive director of the NFL Players Association. The league is already investigating Gruden as a result of the email he wrote to Allen in 2011, in which he used racist terms to describe Smith, who is also black. I'm gonna leave the rest of the email for you guys in the description down below. I really don't want this video to get too long, but DeMaurice Smith came out today and responded to everything, saying that I appreciate that he reached out to me and I told him that we will connect soon, but make no mistake. The news is not about what is said in our private conversation, but what else is said by people who never thought they would be exposed and how they are going to be held to account. The powerful in our business have to embrace that football itself has to be better, as opposed to making excuses to maintain the status quo. The email from Jon Gruden and some of the reaction to it confirms that the fight against racism, racist tropes, and intolerance is not over. This is not about an email as much as it is about a pervasive belief by some that people who look like me can be treated as less. As this was going on a few moments ago, we got some breaking news from Adam Schefter himself, who quote tweeted the New York Times article that I just read to you guys, that these were the emails the league sent to the Las Vegas Raiders per source. The NFL is now waiting to see how the Raiders handle it. Now, a few moments later, Adam Schefter and Tom Pelissero reported that the Las Vegas Raiders and Jon Gruden are parting ways. Tom Pelissero reports that it is quote-unquote over, said the source. Raiders owner Mark Davis arrived at the team's facility a couple hours ago and went to find Jon Gruden, per source. The two men met, and Jon Gruden no longer will be the Las Vegas Raiders head coach. Adam Schefter continues and says, and so, after the New York Times uncovered numerous emails that spanned a 7-year period ending in 2018, Jon Gruden is out as the Raiders head coach. His time ends during Monday Night Football. Now, there was word about who could potentially be Jon Gruden's replacement, and that's going to be Rich Bisaccia. I hope I said that right, man. I'm sorry if I messed it up. Now, Gruden came out and said in a statement that I have resigned as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. I love the Raiders and do not want to be a distraction. Thank you to all the players, coaches, staff, and fans of Raider Nation. I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt anyone. Even with his father resigning tonight as the Raiders head coach, Deuce Gruden remains the team's strength and conditioning assistant coach. So this is absolutely insane. Jon Gruden has officially stepped down 3 years after he was signed to the most lucrative head coaching contract in NFL history. I guess you could say he's officially been canceled, which opens this entire thing up for debate. Do you believe that the punishment for Jon Gruden was justified? Do you believe that he deserved to, I know it said that he resigned, but to be honest, resigning was just a very fancy way of saying, Jon Gruden, you're fired, but please resign so it doesn't look like we fired you. If you're a Las Vegas Raiders fan, how do you feel about it? Are you happy that Jon Gruden's gone? Were you feeling optimistic about the Las Vegas Raiders this year? It's kind of crazy because, I mean, speaking in the lens of football, the Las Vegas Raiders were undefeated, started off 3-0 in September. Derek Carr was in the MVP conversation, and then in October, Jon Gruden resigns. So my question next is, what is going to happen to the Las Vegas Raiders? Where do they go from here? Does Mike Mayock stay aboard? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.